All right, this is going to be an unedited video. I'm declaring it from the start. I haven't done one of those in a while. I have a rant, and I feel like hopefully it will bring a sense of justice to the other autistic parents out there, or parents of autistic children, I should say, because there's something that I need to get off my chest, and that is the continuing, ongoing, unending frustration of buying clothing for autistic children. This goes beyond seams and tags. Okay, we know this. Nobody likes seams and tags. It's so far beyond that. And I kind of had a meltdown that was set off because of this. So I guess like a week or so ago, I saw a pair of shoes on my kid's floor. This is the only pair of shoes that they will wear. The only pair of shoes that my kids will wear. It's a tattered pair of sneakers that looks like they've had it for 3 years. Okay. The only pair. And I see this on the floor, and it kind of sets off a meltdown in me because I'm thinking, I just bought this pair of sneakers. I just bought them. And they look like this, and they're not going to wear anything else. And it was this feeling of like, I'm never going to be able to have everything for them in the way that it needs to look and feel. And it's like I had just bought this pair of shoes. Now it's already tattered. They don't care. They're going to keep wearing it. They're going to keep wearing it to school and looking like, they don't have many clothes to choose from at home, which I have to deal with that. That's one of the struggles, is knowing that, what are other people thinking when I send my kids to school in the same clothes every day? What are they thinking when, like another thing, I hate, it's hard. It's a hard line to walk about like how much to share about my kids because I really want to respect their privacy. But at the same time, like there's just some things it's like, as a parent, I want to provide insight as to what it's like parenting autistic kids because we don't talk about it enough, right? Like we need support. So one of the things that one of my children has trouble with is brushing their hair. This has always been a struggle since they were 3. Why do we have to do it? Why do we have to do it? Okay. So this child gets ready for school, comes out of their room, trying to use the right pronouns to keep it mysterious, and their hair is not brushed and pulled down in like pieces around their face. They love it. They think they look amazing, right? But it's like, it's not something, and maybe people will disagree with me in the comments, but to be fair, you didn't see. Okay. To be fair, you didn't see. And I said, it's not an option. You have to brush your hair. And this became, well, you said, we shouldn't care what other people think. Yes, that's true. Okay. You said that it's more important to, be comfortable in our body. Yes, that's true. But there's some things, as a mother, like it's my job to teach you hygiene. It's my job to teach you, what we do in order to show that we care for ourselves. And, this is going to be dependent. It's going to vary from child to child and what your child is capable of with their own, capacities and the faculties that they're working with at whatever age they're at. So it's going to look different. But this for me, it's such a hard battle of knowing when to push there and knowing that this is going to be something probably they look back and see pictures and are like, Mom, why didn't you make me do something about my hair? So there's the hair, there's the shoes, there's going to school in the same outfit and the same one pair of shoes for everything, whether it's a formal outfit, which let's be real, like my autistic kids don't really wear formal things. They had a formal outfit for a wedding for my cousin last year, but it's typically like sweatpants. My kids don't wear jeans. Like they do, neither one of my kids will wear jeans. Cooper, sometimes if it's like a pull on with no zipper and no button, but they won't wear jeans, which, especially with kids, like with adults, you can kind of get away with that, wear slacks or wear, there's pants that look dressy now that are soft, but with kids, when you just wear soft clothes, it just looks like you're in play clothes all the time, which is fine. But it's just one of the things that's like hard for me to wrap my mind around. Like, let's wear some clothes that make us feel nice. And anyways, there's going to be people who disagree with me in the comments, but I just want, as a mom, I want them to have options and feel like they have stuff they can feel cute in, they can feel a little bit nicer and they can feel a little fancy and they can feel comfortable in. And usually it's just the same outfit. So I see this pair of shoes on the ground. I start to feel just overwhelmed and shut down because it's such a constant, like, part of me thinks like this is like a part-time job of keeping clothes for my kids that fit them, that they feel good in. So, shirts, pants, underwear, bras, socks, shoes. I know I may have said that 4 times now. Um, it's so hard to keep their wardrobe updated, and it takes so long. And on top of this is added that I'm a single parent, and so the kids split their time with me. They're 60/40. So they're also going over to their dad's, and the clothing that works, we don't get to just, like, keep it here, it's shared back and forth, and that's just part of how it is, but that's something that I've never heard anybody talk about publicly, is how freaking difficult it is to share clothing between 2 houses in a divorce. Like, that's nuts. That's wild. Topic for another day, but let's talk about the shopping. So my kids don't do well in stores, shopping for clothing. So the bright lights, the people, having to make decisions, like the executive functioning required to make decisions about which shirt they want to try on or not. They're not going to try them on publicly. Like, they're not going to go in a public fitting room. Neither one of them will. And if I try to push it, then they're going to have a meltdown. And then they're going to hate all of the clothes that they try on because then they're in a meltdown. And so they're not going to wear it. And then when they get home, they're not going to try it on because they look at it and they're like, no, I didn't like that. So, and there's a lot of, okay, just hear me out. And I know people are going to think, well, you need to do this. You're being too easy on them, whatever. Okay, but here's what it looks like in our lives right now. I go to the store or shop online, but it's harder to tell what sizes. I'll purchase several different sizes of certain things, bring them back to the house. I'll purchase different sizes, different colors, different fits, bring it back to the house. And we usually have to do it in chunks. So, like, the kids won't be able to try everything on in one sitting. They'll get overwhelmed and there'll be a meltdown. But they have to go in their rooms. They will not let anybody see them change. Like, obviously, like, that's fine. But, like, don't look at me. Don't think about me. Like, don't mop. Don't. I'm like, fine. You're good. Like, go do your thing. But then, like, Cooper, for instance, who has trouble with buttons, but he doesn't want me to help him because he doesn't want me to see him because he's very private. That's great. Okay. But he will spend like 30 minutes in his room trying to button up his shirt and won't let me help him because he doesn't want me to come in his room while he's getting dressed. But he wants to wear the shirt with buttons. So then, Molly's upset because we're running late for school and I can't rush Cooper because he's going to have a meltdown, and he hit the socks seam on his socks, needs to be turned inside out, whatever. We have seamless socks, but still somehow they don't fit correctly. And so all of these things. So I've got all these clothes. I bring them home. Let's try them on. We do it in sessions. Today we're going to try on the shirts or whatever. Oh my gosh, it's exhausting. And then they find what they like, and it's usually like half of the things or less. So then I've got to do all the returns. And then once I find something that works for them, they both are growing so quickly that it's like then the process restarts very soon. So, and Molly's like in between kid sizes and junior sizes. So it's like, well, just buy the size up. Well, that it doesn't really work right now because the size up is like in a different department and it's not the same. The shoes have to fit perfectly. For Cooper, they can't have laces. It has to be Velcro or slip-on. They can't go up and down on the foot. There has to be room in the toes. I don't know. There's all of these, and then you think you found something, and then they try it on, and then there's some secret category that you forgot about that was really important to them. Like, oh, I can't ever wear this because there's a logo on it, or because it says this, or there's a picture of something, and I don't like that anymore. It's just... So it's just, it honestly feels like a running thing all the time, a part-time job, trying to keep it all figured out and managed. And I wrote some things down so I wouldn't forget it. I think I've covered a bunch of it, but yeah, so it's not just the tags and seams, like obviously that's an issue. So all the tags and seams, all the tags are cut off. The way stuff feels. So like if it touches their body, sometimes they like that, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it needs to be really loose. Well, for this shirt, I want it to be really loose. For this shirt, I want it to be really tight, whatever. Um, yeah, the executive functioning of choosing stuff. So, like, if they don't have enough spoons to make choices, we can't try clothes on that day. Going back to single parenting, that's really hard because what if they're going to their dad's tomorrow and I need to go back to return this to the store, but they're going to be with their dads? Like, we have to try it on today because I need to go, whatever. The money stress of like, "Oh, I finally found," I do that with shoes, like, "Oh, I finally found, like, another pair of shoes that Molly could use as, like, a dressier pair of shoes for when she wants to look a little more dressed up." I have bought so many pairs of shoes at this point over the years that just end up on the floor of the closet because they decide that their sneakers are just the most comfortable. And, like, I know, yes, like, just make peace with that, let them do their thing, but also Molly's gonna be in middle school next year, and I want her to have options. I want her to feel like I want her to enjoy, I don't know. I want her to have options, and it's the money component here is like buying something that they like initially, and then it ends up on the floor, because then they go just back to what they love, and they'll wear it until it's tattered and looks awful. But they love it because it's worn in and comfortable. And so part of it, I guess, is making peace with the fact that like they're just going to be in public places where they look kind of disheveled, and if they're happy, it's okay. And they feel comfortable, that's okay too. Um, the returns, yeah, another executive functioning nightmare of like waiting in the line to return and then having the receipts. And um, it's like, it's so much more daunting when I'm shopping because I know like I'm going to be back here. I'm going to be back here returning the stuff that doesn't fit. Um, yeah, I mean, the emotional toll of it all is like, it's just clothes, but it's never really clothes, It's like expressing yourself, it's being comfortable in your own skin, it's creativity, it's style. And both my kids are really creative. And Cooper loves like bright colors and fashion, and Molly does too, but in so many different ways. And it's like, the point I'm at right now is sooner or later, they're going to just have to start coming to the stores with me. I don't know. Anyways, that's been a rant about buying autistic kids clothes. Let me know if you can relate. If you're looking for more resources for autistic adults, check out my website, momonthespectrum.life. And I have a guide, the ultimate guide to understanding autism. These are 40 terms, actually, really great for using with kids. The most transformative thing for me of discovering that I am autistic is having words to describe my experience. Also, the most transformative thing for understanding my kids are autistic is being able to talk with them, give them names for their experiences. This is meltdown, this is delayed processing, this is whatever it might be. Totally free guide that you can download. I'll put a link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.